Hey team, thanks for engaging in this work with me this afternoon. Our leadership team met yesterday and discussed some exciting next steps that are on the horizon for Bear Elementary in regards to school funding. As such, we need your input as we carefully consider the best options for our students. Before we begin, let's ground ourselves in our vision and mission. Our vision is at Bear T Elementary, students will grow as responsible citizens, prepared to succeed in higher education, careers, and life. Our mission? At Bear T Elementary, staff and students are dedicated to learning through promoting a growth mindset, collaboration, character development, and innovation. This provides students with unique ways to meet their individual learning needs. Through effort, commitment, and competence, we will create a school where all children can be excellent. As we make these choices moving forward, it's important to keep in mind the alignment of our resources with our values, goals, and direction. Keep in mind that based on the Leandro versus the state of North Carolina case, resources and funding must be allocated towards providing a sound basic education for all students. With that in mind, let's look back at our historical achievement over the past 3 years. This is going to help us as we align our funding with our priority areas. So the chart on the left shows our reading achievement over the last 3 years. It shows 2019, 2021, and 2022 reading data. The light blue is 2019, the dark purple is 2021, and the yellow or gold color is 2022. As you can see from this data, we are moving forward from 2021 to 2022, but we have not closed the gap between our students' achievement in 2019 to 2022. So we're still looking to really close that gap in reading achievement. I also want you to pay careful attention to the chart on the bottom of the screen. This shows the subgroup that is most underperforming in this area. So our Black students are not meeting growth, not meeting expected growth as determined by EBOS. So as we make decisions today regarding funding and resources, we want to keep in mind that group of students and how our funding and resources can be best allocated to support their growth. In math here, you can see a similar trend. We are making forward growth, so that's exciting, but we have still not closed that gap between 2019 and 2022. So we're still working to really increase our achievement in those areas. At the bottom of the screen for math, you can see our lowest growing group is our Hispanic population. So again, as we make these instructional decisions, we need to keep in mind this population of kids at our school so that we can start to see an increase in their growth. On this screen, you see our science achievement data for the last 3 years. This is, again, the similar trend. We took a decline from 2019 to 2021, but as you can see, we've made some forward progress, but we still have an urgent need to raise the achievement levels so that we can continue to close the gap between where our students were performing and where they are performing currently. As with our reading scores, our Black students are our most undergrowing group. So that is where we need to keep in mind resources and funding. So again, just in reflection, that was our subgroups, our Black students and our Hispanic students. That's where we really need to be allocating our resources and funding and starting to problem solve as a team around how we can increase the growth and achievement of these scholars. I know I mentioned earlier, but want to mention again as we move forward in the next couple of slides with making decisions in regards to funding, we need to keep in mind the Leandro versus the state of North Carolina case as resources and funding need to be allocated towards supporting a sound basic education for all students. As such, we want to keep our decisions grounded in our priority areas and in our school improvement plan goals. With that being said, let's just refresh ourselves on what our school improvement plan goals were for the 2022-2023 school year. Goal number 1, we wanted to increase our overall composite score from 32.6 to 37.5. Goal 2, we wanted to decrease the amount of at-risk readers by 5% as measured by DIBELS. And goal 3, we wanted to reduce monthly office referrals for common areas by 5%. With these areas in mind, the school improvement plan team and myself met yesterday, and we discussed a budget recommendation for this upcoming school year. And this is where we really need your help. We have a couple of options here. So the budget will include, regardless, the information presented in the white circle in the middle. So we will have a summer launch. That is going to be an onboarding 2-day event for new to Bear Elementary staff, and it will be facilitated by 3 teacher leaders or MCLs. And so our staff that's coming to that event and providing that service will be receiving a stipend. So the new to Bear Elementary staff will get $135 for both days that they attend. And our 3 teacher leaders that are helping facilitate that event will get $175 for each day of the event. So that's super exciting. We also are going to be ordering some Standards of Success posters. Those are going to be nicely printed posters that are going to have some new standards of success that our behavior team is going to be working to create over the next little bit of time before we kick off the new school year. We also are going to host 3 parent professional development nights. These are going to include food, community partnerships, and resources for our families, and some academic connections. So super excited about those. So here's where we really need your help. We've kind of got 2 options that we can go from for the rest of our budget for the year. So option number 1 has quite a bit. So stick with me here. We've got the Saturday Academy, which will consist of 30 weeks of tutoring, and that will be 2 hours a week, and it will consist of 4 of our teacher leaders who will be leading that academy, and they will be paid for their work. We will have 1 daytime tutor for 36 weeks, and they'll work for 12 hours per week. That is going to be targeted towards our 1st through 3rd grade students, specifically with our phonics gaps for our at-risk readers. And then we've got some CKLA and Eureka visits that are going to be in addition to what we are already provided. So that is going to increase our visits to be able to come twice per month. This is in response to feedback that we've gotten as a leadership team that teachers really want to have coaching that's aligned to their needs. So before we were kind of doing it by grade level, but now we really want to work on providing coaching by need. We also would have a library refresh of around $4,000, which would allow us to just widen the amount of up-to-date resources and books that our students are receiving. This budget would allow for us to compensate our Thrive team lead, that's our mentoring program here, and our teacher leaders that come to the Thrive team meeting each month to present. It would provide them with an additional stipend for their work as well. So that is option 1. Option 2, we still have the Saturday Academy, but it drops down to 18 weeks. And it's still 2 hours a week and would still have 4 teacher leaders who would be providing that service. With this option, we get a technology assistant, and this is pretty cool because it would provide us a double specials once per week, and there's some pretty creative ways that we could use that time. So hang with me there. And then we wouldn't be able to do CKLA and Eureka additional visits, but we could provide 6 additional CKLA coaching days, which would fit our reading priority area, to provide 2 per month starting in October through March. Both of these options are greatly aligned with our priority areas and our connection to academic achievement. So I just wanted to make sure that I kind of went through each one so that you understood the alignment and the connection as you go forward into making your choice between the 2 options. So the Saturday Academy is going to increase our time to tutor a select group of students who really need that additional support in order to reach proficiency. This is targeted for our 3 through 5 students. And again, when we're aligning our resources and priorities, we're keeping in mind our subgroups that are not growing and looking at our data to really ensure that we are selecting the students with the highest need to attend these academies. In addition, with this option 1, we have the high dosage tutoring program. It's one additional tutor, but they would be serving in our school 4 days a week with 12 hours per week, serving those 1st through 3rd grade students in the phonics gaps. And we know that we have a lot of phonics gaps here, and we need to get those gaps closed before students are out of 3rd grade. That's huge for us. So with that being said, the high dosage tutoring program would really be a great resource for our students in 1st through 3rd grade as we look to increase our reading achievement. Then the stipend with our Thrive team, you guys know that our Thrive team lead has been putting in a lot of extra hours, a lot of extra work, creating that mentoring program for all of our new teachers. We have about 15 beginning teachers here at Bear Elementary. So their workload is very heavy, and being able to provide them a stipend, as well as the teacher leaders that are coming to present each month to that mentoring group, would really be exceptional. Providing twice per month coaching for CKLA and Eureka. I know I touched on it a bit, but that's really in response to the feedback that we've gotten from you all that coaching hasn't been as effective when it's not tailored to your individual needs. We saw that on Teacher Working Conditions Survey, and then we've heard it from you guys time and time again. So we really want to show you that we do care. We want to make sure that this coaching is effective for you and ultimately is helping you to become the competent teachers that you need to be in order to provide your students that service. So that would allow us to kind of tailor coaching. And then, of course, the library refresh. We, since COVID, have lost a lot of our library books. They didn't return to us, unfortunately. We are still working to replenish that library and expand our title selection and just get more and more up-to-date resources for our students. So that is option 1. Option 2, we would still have the Saturday Academy again, and that Saturday Academy is just really, really working to increase the amount of hands-on time we have with that select group of kids in grades 3 through 5. It does narrow down to 18 weeks. The reason why it narrows down significantly is because that technology assistant does take a large pot of our money. But let's talk about the technology assistant. So the technology assistant would allow for us to have 1 double special per teacher each week. And this would be a great opportunity for us to increase our focus with progress monitoring, giving additional assessments to students necessary for MTSS, and then even data tracking with a coach. So this need was reflected on our FAMS last year. We needed more time in the schedule to give assessments, look through the data together, and be ultimately coached to build the capacity of our staff. So by having the technology assistant, we can really target that 1 double specials a week into coaching and progress monitoring aligned with MTSS implementation. And then lastly, we would also be able to receive 6 additional CKLA visits, which again would allow us to have twice per month visits from October through March. And then the other months we would have the 1 visit a month. This is really going to help just, again, building that competence that we said in our mission. We want to be competent so that we can deliver the necessary instruction to our students. At the beginning, we said we wanted to make sure, whatever option we chose, that our funding was highly aligned with our goals for school improvement. So on this screen, I will show you how each of the areas aligns with our school improvement plan goals. So the Saturday Academy, working with that selected group of students in grades 3 through 5, is really going to target increasing our overall composite score. And it will also work to decrease our at-risk readers, as we do have 2 out of those 4 tutors that will be working specifically in reading. The high dosage tutoring is really going to be working towards goal 1 and goal 2, but heaviest in goal 2. So it's working with those first through third grade students to decrease at-risk readers. That focus on phonics and fluency is really targeted at goal 2. The technology assistant that's going to provide us additional support so that we can have double specials, that is ultimately helping us as teachers be equipped with what we need in order to increase the composite, in order to decrease our at-risk readers, by providing that progress monitoring, by having that data coaching that was evident from our FAMS. So the technology assistant hits us on goal 1 and goal 2. Our increased coaching visits. So our coaching visits, again, are giving our teachers and our staff the tailored professional development that they need in order to be equipped to provide the best education for our students. So that, again, hits on increasing our composite and also on decreasing our at-risk readers. And then lastly, we need something that's really going to be working towards goal 3, decreasing our common area behaviors in our office referrals. So that's our Standards for Success posters. Those posters are going to be created and designed by our behavior team. They will go up throughout the school in all common areas as we work to reteach those procedures, which ultimately will lead us to a decrease in our common area behaviors. As you can see, each of these areas really does align very well with our school improvement plan. I am so excited, team, because I feel like we really can't go wrong. We have 2 really great options on the table, and this is why the school improvement team needs your help. We need to know, what do you prefer, option 1 or option 2? So just in summary, option 1 allows us to have that high dosage tutoring during the school day. We're also able to have a 30-week Saturday Academy for our 3 through 5 students. We would have twice per month CKLA and Eureka coaching tailored to teacher needs, a lead mentor and teacher leader stipend for that Thrive team, and a $3,000 library refresh. Option 2 would provide us with a technology assistant to give us that double specials once per week per teacher. That's going to really help us with our progress monitoring and having that coaching support necessary for MTSS. We have that 18-week Saturday Academy targeting our 3 through 5 students, and then an increase in coaching directly in CKLA, which reading as our priority area. So either of these options is a good option. I'm really excited to see what you choose. If you would, please respond to the Google form that's attached in this email with your choice, option 1 or option 2, no later than 3 p.m. on Tuesday, March 14th, with your choice. We want to hear from you, so please use your voice, advocate for what you would like by using the Google form attached to this email. I look forward to seeing what you choose, and I can't wait to announce which option of the budget we will be putting into place for the next school year. Thank you, guys.